Hello there, welcome to today's video. Something a bit different from us in this one, and it's all about this thing, our motorhome and security. There was a product that I saw way back when Sarah and I bought our first motorhome many years ago, and I thought one day I want that product in here. Today's video is a video in association with a security firm, but do not switch off because I reached out to them. This wasn't one of these things where they contacted all content creators. No, I saw this and I thought, I want it. I reached out to them, and after many discussions, they agreed to install it in here so that I can show it to you, our viewers, in a hope that maybe you can learn from this type of security as well. And I've got a unique perspective on security generally, and that's why this is so important to me and why I want it to be as important to you. Unique because my career has been in working in security in many forms, in resilience and disaster recovery, but also Sarah and I a few years ago were burgled. And not just burgled, we were burgled bad. So bad, in fact, that the scene of crime officers that came to see us, they said this was the worst burglary they'd ever seen. The house was turned absolutely upside down. Everything of value stolen, things of no value stolen. I'm thinking there of my Swindon Town football shirts, which amazingly disappeared in that burglary as well. And also, they stole Sarah's car that was on the drive. And we didn't think that would happen because we hid the key to Sarah's car in such a unique location, no one would ever find it. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you what that location was, because if you're like us and you hide keys in the house and think you're being clever, we had a really clever spot, and you can tell me whether yours is the same. It's not just being burgled. They turned our house upside down, but they turned our life upside down with it. So bad, in fact, that Sarah refused to ever sleep in that house again, and I really, got to say, I don't blame her. It affected us both emotionally far more than we could ever have imagined. And do you know what I always think about? If I could turn back time, if I could turn back time before that and had taken the kind of security decisions which would have meant that none of it had happened in the first place. We released a video recently and I spoke about security in the motorhome. We had a comment from a viewer saying, "Oh, Neil, you need to calm down a bit. Just get out there and enjoy it. Stop getting so hung up on the security." But that's why. Because of our burglary, I take this stuff ridiculously seriously. You know, in here, I have a disc lock to go on the steering wheel. I've got a lock that goes on the pedals. It's called a clutch claw. I've got locks on all the doors, and I've got so much more security that I'm not going to be telling you about. But this one that you're going to see in today's video is unusual. It's unique. All over Europe, it's used, and there are insurance firms in Europe that require you to have this installed in your motorhome. In the UK, it's hardly known. So the guys from Bearlock are going to be here shortly. They're going to install it. I'm going to show you the install. I'm going to ask them some pretty pointed questions about just how good a product this is and whether you should consider it for yourself. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you where we secreted that key that got found by our burglars and Sarah's beloved Mini Cooper was stolen. And I'll also tell you probably the one thing that I took away from there with regard to keys and wallets and all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you that at the end of what I do differently now. Right, they're going to be here in a minute. Let's see how this goes. Right, so just 5 minutes later, and they've pulled up. This is Joe. Joe, pleased to meet you.
Hi, nice
and behind us here is Andre. How you doing?
Hello, you all right?
So these are the guys from theftstop.co.uk, and their product is the Bearlock. Not going to stop him working, so I think it's going to be a bit of a job.
Crack on.
So while he's doing that, we'll have a chat.
Yeah.
So first of all then, where did Bearlock come from?
Right, I would love to say that Bearlock is our product, but unfortunately, or fortunately, it's not. It has been designed, and the original idea came from Poland, because I'm Polish, and Andrzej's he's been spent most of his life in Poland as well. So that's where the idea came from in 1995. So it's well over 30 years. So every system that we install in UK is being manufactured in a factory in Poland.
And that's why when I reached out to you about doing this, it wasn't so straightforward, because this is a left-hand drive vehicle. And
Yes.
you work in the UK where it's all right-hand drive.
yeah.
So you've had to order this in specially from Poland, this specific one
Yeah.
to fit here.
So because we are in UK, we are the only distributors and installers of the product in UK.
Yep.
But Bearlock operates across the whole Europe. So it's actually not a problem to get the system for the left-hand drive vehicle.
Yep.
It's just that we don't hold it in stock because most of our vehicles are UK based and
Of course.
right-hand drive. But yeah, in a space of the last 5 years, we had to redevelop and redesign every lock for the right-hand drive market.
Right.
So that's why when we come across, some of you guys may reach out to us and ask about some vehicles, and we may need to say, no, we don't have
Right.
one, because every vehicle that we install and we service in UK, we had to redesign and redevelop with the Polish engineers.
That's because it's a bespoke kind of design
Yes.
for each vehicle.
Yes,
So it's
yeah.
not just the thing you can go to Halfords and
Yeah.
pick up for yourself and install.
Yeah.
So that's the background to it. But I was just telling people in the intro of the video that it's a very unusual. It's not the standard kind of security product people would look at. So what is Bearlock, and how is it different to other security products you find on the market?
Yeah. So first of all, how it's different is fully mechanical. There is no electronics involved. These days, everyone does the trackers, alarms, and everything. It's a very old idea, but it's very solid and robust idea,
Right.
because the whole system is built out of the hardened steel. There are high
Right.
security key barrels and CNC keys included in the system. So everything is built to slow down the thief as much as possible.
Right.
It's fully mechanical, it's built in, so it's not something you can buy and install yourself. It's have to be installed by our qualified engineers
Yep.
that do it on our behalf. And it's all built in, and we use the original fitting points, so we don't cut anything in your
Oh, okay.
chassis.
Yeah,
The
that's
only cutting point is the plastic where the key barrel will be coming out.
Yep.
So it's permanent fitting, because once it's finished, we're using shear nuts. And once we shear the nuts off, the
not
system
coming
is
out.
permanently fitted.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what makes it the different. And also very important point is where people asking me, what is the best security in the world? I always say is the one that you're going to use all the time. And that's including petrol stations, local visits to the shops. When you literally jump out of the car, go to the supermarket, that's when they get installed. Because
Right.
that's where they very open. Nobody
Yeah.
puts all of the difficult systems on, because you just leave for
Too
30,
much hard
60
work.
seconds. Exactly. So that's what makes the Bearlock different, because it literally takes a second to engage it and a second to disengage it.
Yep.
It literally becomes the habit.
Yep.
After a few weeks, you will naturally be putting the key barrel in
Yep.
and doing that without even thinking.
So that's the background to Bearlock itself. What about your involvement with Bearlock?
Yeah, so 5-6 years ago, I was actually the victim of the burglary. The people broke into my house, because I live in Birmingham, so that wouldn't be a surprise to anyone,
Well, that-
I guess.
Well, I'll just stop you, because the intro of this video, I've told people I lived in Birmingham and I was broken
Okay,
into
yeah.
and car stolen. And
Yes.
So what happened?
Yeah, so I had 2 cars on my driveway, one little Runa Honda Jazz, which is just behind us, still there, and then a brand new BMW. And that's the main reason why they broke into my house. And they literally just went through the back door, kitchen door, snapped the lock, and my fault, the locks weren't great as
Yeah.
well. They broke in, they just took the keys, came out, and drove the Beamer out, and they left the Honda Jazz. But they now, at this point, they have the keys.
Why did they leave it?
I don't know, but I was
okay.
just lucky enough that they left it at that point, and I was a friend of Andre at that point, and I knew Andre had Bearlock installed in his
okay.
vehicle. So I thought, Andre, they've got my key, they're gonna come back. Can we get something installed in mine? So we reached out to the Polish dealers.
Yeah.
We get the lock, we installed it in my car. And believe it or not, a couple of weeks later, the same guy came back with the key at 9 o'clock in the evening when I'm watching the film with my daughter, and I see him jumping into my car with the key, starting the engine, but not being able to drive off because the Bearlock was engaged. So
Brilliant.
obviously, I'm there with my few years old daughter.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna come out because
Yeah,
it's just a car, but I'm shouting through the window, and he's just like, keep trying, keep driving backwards and thinking what's going on, and he just decided to leave it and run off. And I went, that worked. That
This is
literally
for me.
worked. This
Yeah.
is something I want to do. And I went back to Andre. I said, Andre, you wouldn't believe what's just happened. And we reached out to Bear Lock manufacturer in Poland, and we said, guys, we want to do this. And they said, listen, they've been people before you, they've tried, it's a really hard work because we don't have the locks for the right-hand drive,
of
which I
course.
already covered.
Yeah.
Are you willing to do this work? And we said, yes.
That's why I was impressing upon our viewers the fact that you can look at life through the lens of insurance and say, I'm insured. Doesn't matter, I'm insured.
Yeah.
Which is true. However, when something like that happens, insurance, that's just about the money. It's about everything else, how it totally disrupts your life and can have adverse impact mentally as well. It's not just about getting a payout. And obviously, if you do get a payout, what happens to your premiums in future as well? You don't want it to go.
Premiums, and we had these conversations with thousands of customers that we work with, because unfortunately most of our customers are the ones that have experienced some sort of theft. That's why they reached out to us, because unfortunately most people do think that insurance is the answer. But then when you think about it, you are out in the mountains doing your hike. For example, you keep your pet in a van, your dog, your cat.
Of course.
That's not going to cover by insurance.
No.
Yeah, the value of that, I know people been saying to us, now they can sleep well and they can go for that hike knowing the pet is safe, because even if someone will break in, they're going to just leave it within few seconds, because the main difference with this mechanical old school solution is the fact that even the high-tech thieves, they won't be able to override it.
Yeah.
People will ask, because they always ask on our channels, what if I put a bar over the gear shifter and force it?
Yeah.
You will just break the gear shifter, because Bear Lock is built out of 5mm hardened steel. That's not going to give.
But Bear Lock's a lock. So can you pick it? Is it is there any statistics around that?
There is no evidence of anywhere in Europe that anyone even attempted to pick the lock.
Wow.
There was, because these locks are very high security with the CNC technology keys.
Yep.
So let's be honest, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
But that would require someone with very high skills. Those people are existing, but they're not interested in vehicle theft. Even if you try to attempt to cut it, for example, those pipes which have the wires in are filled with plastic granules, so you won't be able to manually pull the cable because it will melt during the grinding process. So everything is being thought through.
Yeah.
We have hundreds and hundreds of evidence of force attempts, but the vehicles are still there.
And is it right? I heard that, I think in the Netherlands, a motorhome, they won't insure a motorhome unless it's got Bear Lock installed.
Everything over, from the top of my head, I think is everything over 10,000 euros in value.
Wow.
In Netherlands, they are mandatory systems to be installed in the van. Insurance companies should care what security systems you have, because the less opportunity for your van to be stolen, the less paying out for them. But that doesn't seem to be the case in UK.
Yeah.
Because our customers saying to us all the time that UK insurance companies are only interested in TACHM approved systems. Unfortunately, TACHM only do electronic systems. They don't do mechanical systems. So we can't physically get approved by TACHM.
But this is a psychological thing now then, because I think there's two ways of looking at your motorhome. One way is to say, can I satisfy my insurer because I've got a TACHM 5 plus tracker?
Yes. Yeah.
But you're not really caring about whether you've properly protected it. Because on our last van, we had a top TACHM tracker on there that I paid a lot of money for each year. And one day I looked at the tracker, had it on an app, and it said that I was about 500 miles away from where I actually was. And I phoned them up, and they said, yeah, this is normal because you left there, and this is going to it can sometimes take hours to update, and that's approved. So you can either take that perspective of, I'm just interested in what insurers want, or you take the perspective that I do, that this is my pride and joy, and I don't want it stolen.
Don't want it to
I don't
move.
care.
Yes.
I don't care about insurance.
Yeah.
I don't want it to move. That's why I wanted to share this with you guys, and I'm just gonna going off on one there, but just want to say, To Go Rome, we've had a channel for nearly 5 years. So To Go Rome Travels, and all that time, I've done no sponsored content. And in the last 3 months, there's 2. So there's the Bluetti battery we got in there. You can go back and have a look at that. And I reached out to Bluetti because I could see how it was going to really impact how we travel in this. And with this, Joey, you didn't get in contact with me. I contacted you and said, can we do something?
Yes,
because I know
can confirm that.
this is something that I want and I think is valuable to our viewers, because this is different, it's unusual, and I think with it being unusual in the UK, if anyone does break into the van, they probably won't even know what a bear lock is, and that's the first problem on them being able to actually thinking about taking it away.
See, Sarah?
Yay! So now your vehicle is fully immobilized.
Yeah,
It's not going to go anywhere.
no one's taking that anywhere, Sarah.
Yes.
It just costs you £500. Should be alright. Finger crossed.
Good luck. Remember, it's left-hand drive. Yeah, you haven't done it the wrong side.
Oh, right. Oh.
Right, so we've just had a quick tea break. Well, we've just had a quick tea break. We've had him working because there's a lot to get done in there. You've had a sip of your tea, haven't you, Andre?
Yes.
Just a sip, though, nothing more. You've got to get it done. Right, so question for you about the cost. So when you might have seen, I've got a disc lock in here, I've got the clutch claw, and you've got trackers, alarms, all that kind of stuff. How does the cost of bear lock compare to the other kind of security you can get on a van?
Yeah, the cost of Bella compares to the very good tracker with the immobilization. So you're talking around £500 mark for the installation in 2025, for example, but those prices will vary, depends on the location.
Yep.
Because the price will depend on whether we have to drive to you or you will come to us for the installation in one of our locations. But all the time, best way to get the accurate quote is to reach out to us via our website and fill the inquiry form, where we will get back to you within 48 hours.
Cool. Well, I guess the good thing comparing it to a tracker is there's no subscription fee. Once it's installed, it's installed. So once it has been installed, what about maintenance? What is it you need to do?
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Right.
No maintenance, you don't need to do any greasing, you don't need to do anything. And we've been installing bear locks in UK for 6 years. And obviously bear lock has been installed in Europe for much longer than that. And doesn't matter how long the bear lock sits in your vehicle, there is no maintenance required.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there is nothing that you need to do apart from engaging it all the time when you're not driving the
Making
van.
sure you're using it.
Yeah. Every installation comes with 3 keys. You already have them separated for your daily drive and for your spares. There's 2 spares. And what's important, I'm going to show it from the back, because here at the front, you have numbers and letters. There is a sequence of numbers and letters that is covering your key barrel and your keys. So as long as you have those numbers safe, wherever you are in the world, if you lost the key and you need another one, we can get it posted to you.
Oh, okay.
But you will have to give me this sequence of letters.
So you don't have to have that card.
You don't need to have the card as long as you have the sequence.
Photograph of the card.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because that's the fear. You got like the best security possible, and then you lose the keys. Then what do you do? But okay. And does that happen? Have you had instances of people?
Yes, we had a customer in France.
Yep.
Didn't follow our advice, which is keep one. If you travel abroad, take 2 keys with you and keep one in your bag or in your wallet somewhere. And he contacted us, give us the details, and 3 days later, he had a key posted to the local restaurant, which was near to his place. So it's possible, but you will have to sit there for a few days wait.
But you know, you can relax in your motorhome.
Yeah, that's
as long as you haven't
point.
lost it on a forecourt of a petrol station or something, that might be a bit of a problem. I'm just trying to think about why would someone do this? If they've already got a tracker, they've already got a immobiliser, they've got an alarm, should they get bear lock or not? Well, you know, are they covered? What would you say?
Depends. Obviously, my answer is going to be biased
Yeah, of
because I
course.
say it doesn't matter what you have, always get bear lock.
Yep.
Because bear lock is compound effect of your security.
Yep.
It's not just linear, increase. It's literally 10 times more if you compound these
Yep.
systems, trackers, physical, even the clutch cloth that you
Yeah.
have in here as well. It's really just adding these
Yeah.
up, piling them all together. It makes it impossible to steal, because what will literally happen, they will go to your neighbors.
Yeah. You've done brilliant. You've told people everything they need to know about this product, and I can't wait to be able to drive this away and know that we can go out for the day wherever we are in Europe and just relax knowing that the van's going to be there. However, this is the one thing that you never really see an answer to on alarms or anything. This might be putting you on the spot. Has anyone stolen a van that you've put bear lock in that you know of?
Yeah. Obviously, you don't have to believe my answer, but not a single one in UK. And
Right.
we installed thousands. And in some countries in Europe, we have evidence of attempts with high damage to the vehicle, but the cars are still, they were still in their positions. So, because people will ask those questions,
Yep.
what sort of damage the thief can cause? If the thief is really stubborn and he will go with the hard tools like angle grinders, they can obviously cause the damage.
Yep.
But that damage is nothing in comparison to replacing everything that you invested into your van. It's just too hard. Even spending the time to break through this system is just too long.
Right.
The thieves these days, they don't need to spend that much time risking the fact that there's someone
Too
will
many
come
other
out.
opportunities.
There's just
Yeah.
2 roads down, and they're gonna go and find a van without bear lock in it.
Yeah.
And as we all know, the electronic systems, they can be bypassed. If the high-tech thieves have the right softwares, the right tools, they can do it. With this, the only people that would be able to do that by peaking, which we already said, they are not interested in vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not in that market.
Yeah, got it.
So, genuinely, there is no cases of vehicles being stolen.
And how are you getting on in there, Andre? You finished, yeah? Right, so we're going
I think we need to start talking about some overtime
I
costs.
think we're going to have to do that. We've presented him with an interesting little job. But in a moment, for you, this will all be finished. And let's see how it works.
We drive as normal, arrive in a destination, ideally reverse back against some obstacle, a wall or a tree, put it into reverse, get a key, put it in a key barrel, if you can get it in, turn it clockwise, take the key out, and it's now locked in reverse.
Oh, wow.
Okay, ready to drive, same
Yep.
key, put it in, anti-clockwise, and you're ready to drive.
Fabulous. It's simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love that. Right, so it's on at the moment. That goes in there
it's
somewhere.
off. It's off at the moment.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so you need to put reverse. That's it.
And clockwise,
Just press
put
it a
it
little bit
press it in,
and clockwise.
clockwise.
Clockwise. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You have to
Let me do that
slightly
again.
press this key barrel, yeah, with the key.
You got two?
Press it.
Press
Right,
it and
okay.
press and
and
turn.
clockwise, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The
So-
gyro just did it automatically and
Yeah.
didn't mention that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then anti-clockwise,
Yeah.
take a key out. Yeah.
That was made about 3 weeks ago in sunny UK. Now, though, I'm in sunny Spain. And since leaving the UK 3 weeks ago, we've travelled over 1,500 miles. We've been to the UK, obviously, that's where we were. We went from the UK to the Netherlands, to Belgium, to Germany, to France, and finally back here to Spain. And I gotta say, it's been an absolute relief having this thing installed, because we can now park it in places we would never have thought of parking things before, in car parks in city centres and things like that, because I am now very confident having this installed. The bear lock has kind of changed everything. Now, I did say at the start of this video, was going to tell you two things before we close it out. Two things are, first of all, where we hid our key, our spare key for both our cars, in fact, when we had our house broken into and everything stolen all those years ago. Where we stored it was in the kitchen between some plates. So it was actually bowls. So we put bowls and they were kind of at the back, and we put some stuff in the bowls that looked like we're using it all the time. That was found. That was stolen. The second thing, and the other thing I learned from that episode, and something the police told me is one of the biggest mistakes everybody makes, and that is having things like a key holder by the front door, and you put your keys on there at night. Now, the one thing that we always do now, whenever we go to bed, is my keys and my wallet are right next to the bed. Now, you might say, that's overkill. It's overkill until it happens to you. But now we've got this bear lock installed in here. Simply, all I need to do is locked in position. There's no way anyone's getting it out of reverse. I just put this in here, and now the vehicle is drivable. Really hope you found this video useful. Totally different to the videos we normally create here on To Go Roam Travels, and there is a discount. You'll see that in the description below this video. Thank you so much to the guys from Bear Lock. You have changed our travels totally. We'll see you next time.